Pre-Friday Thursdays
with Muddy and Rats. Hang on, let's do it again.
Welcome to Pre-Friday Thursdays
with Muddy and Rats.
Hi guys, welcome to Pre-Friday Thursdays
with Muddy and Rats.
We're just two really awesome old friends. We've been mates for about 15 years now, and we are just gonna hang out, talk about some shows, talk about some bands, and just hang out with you every Thursday because we like weekends too much, and so we usually start a bit early. So it's not the first time you've seen Nikki here on Menace Mode, but why don't you take the floor and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Nikki Hunter. I'm a tattooed, curvy model from Sydney, Australia, who loves Machine Head. It's me.
That's fair. That pretty much sums you up. And you know me, I'm Megan from Menace Mode, and I'm just really excited to have something to create with Nikki. Today we're going to talk about our favourite shows that have ever come to Australia and some other very interesting little categories. How about we start off? I've got a question for you. What's the most disappointing show you have ever been to?
My most disappointing show would have to be Killswitch Engage with Shadows Fall, Divine Heresy, and From Autumn to Ashes, which was about 13 years ago.
Showing your age now.
Yes. Great show, but before Killswitch came on with Howard Jones, I had to leave.
Why?
Because my dad made me leave.
Oh no!
And it was raining so bad, like flooding, like the car was like half underwater in the city. That's how bad it was flooding.
Where was the show?
At the Horde Pavilion, but like they had the little venue.
Oh, it was like Hi-Fi, but then it had a whole heap of different names. It's the Hi-Fi now, right? Yeah. The Forum, when it had all those stairs.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
And I was under 18, so I wasn't allowed downstairs. You had to be upstairs on the railing.
Yeah.
I couldn't even go buy merch. I had to go and get someone else to do that for me, and yeah, I had to leave. And I have never cried so much.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rats. That's
horrible.
hard. That's hard.
What about you? What's your most disappointing show?
My most disappointing show is a band that I've waited so long to see. I'm a really big Wayne's World fan, and when you remember in Waynestock, it's his made-up festival that he actually does in the end. It's like Aerosmith and Van Halen.
Waynestock. It's called Waynestock.
Waynestock.
Well, I bought tickets to see Aerosmith, and then they didn't sell enough tickets, so they got shoved onto Stone Music Festival with a whole bunch of other really cool rock artists, including Jimmy Barnes and Kings of Chaos, Buck Cherry, that kind of thing. But Van Halen had to back up Aerosmith. And they were so freaking bad that I left. I was out. Like, Eddie was great. Wolfgang was meh. But, like, I gotta tell you, Diamond Dave was just so creepy. It's like seeing Gene Simmons now. He was just creepy. And I couldn't take it, so I left. And I listened to Panama and Running with the Devil from the car park at Olympic Park. And, yeah. I won't be able to see them again. But, oh well. Whatever. Thanks. So I guess a really good question to ask is, do you remember what the first show that we went together was?
Yes.
Do ya?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm interested.
So our first ever metal show together was the Black Crusade in 2007.
Oh my god.
With Arch Enemy opened, then Trivium, then Machine Head. And I wasn't into Machine Head that much then, but I was a huge Arch Enemy fan. And I had the biggest crush on Angela Gosso. I had like photos out of like Metal Hammer magazines.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I remember. You were low-key obsessed.
Obsessed.
And I mean, that Trivium album, The Crusade, was amazing. And what Machine Head was supporting, The Blackening, which was huge. Absolutely huge. But yeah, what, Luna Park?
Luna Park Big Top.
Luna Park Big Top, yeah.
One of our first of many shows at the Big Top. Such a good venue.
I think Machine Head's going to be one of those bands that we kind of revisit a lot because, man, we've been to a lot of Machine Head shows together.
Yes, we have. I think every Machine Head show I've been to in Australia has been with you.
Oh, I love that!
I think except for one.
Yeah, the Melbourne one.
The Melbourne one.
Of their last tour. Actually did some promo stuff for Killers and Kings Rob Flynn's clothing brand and very kindly passed them on to me too, so I could be part of it. Well, that's our first like heavy show together, but we had to come from somewhere, right? So
Yes.
was your first ever like heavy show?
My first ever heavy-ish show, like concert gig, was a band called Sketcher back.
Not the shoes.
No, I think
Okay.
it was about maybe 13, 14, and it was like one of the first Engadine shows where you would go to see hardcore bands, and they were like a pop punky band from memory. I don't know, it was so long ago.
Why don't you explain what like Engadine was for like a Sydney kid growing up in the heavy music world?
So I guess you consider it Sydney hardcore scene. For me, it started with Engadine shows.
Yeah, it was like a
and
seniors hall,
Janelli.
right?
Yes, so
Yeah.
there was a smaller hall and a big hall.
Yeah.
The bigger bands, when you could pay $12 to see Parkway Drive,
Oh, man.
Carpathian, 50 Lions, I Killed the Prom Queen, and all that. It'd be like
Yeah.
$12. All day hardcore show,
God, they were the
all
best.
day. And then eventually those shows finished because they knocked down the halls. And then I would trek out to Blacktown, which would take me nearly 2 hours on the train to see bands like Thyarda's Murder. Just so many Australian hardcore bands that have started from small little venues.
Yeah,
for
they were
like
great.
a couple of bucks.
So good.
To now, like, look at how Parkway are. Like, they're one of the biggest metal bands
Yeah.
in the world.
Like headlining some of the biggest like European heavy metal music
Wacken.
festivals. Yeah. Bloodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So good.
Seeing them, like, being, like, that close to them. Like, from me to you, we could stand there.
Yeah.
And that faded out.
We'll make sure to do a episode, I think, of like Australian bands to keep an eye out on. And if you're watching this from around the world, I mean, maybe you'll find your next favourite band, which would be super rad if they were Australian.
What was your first ever metal show?
This is like my bragging rights, I think. Was Mudvayne. Was my favourite band of all time. I was 13 years old. 24th of January in 2006, so playing at the Roundhouse, which is
I
like
didn't even know you liked Mudvayne.
Stop it. Okay, I'm coming back. Yeah, no, it was amazing. Lost and Found album. Chad had a shaved head. They played Big Day Out that year. And it kind of started a little bit of a love affair. A little bit.
So, Chad, if you're watching this, come on our show. I know we're only starting, but we're here. And I know you might probably see this.
Well, COVID's fucked a lot of things up. Did you have any plans?
I did. I had a lot of tickets to a lot of shows. I was so excited to see Trapped Under Ice. They haven't been here in maybe 8 years.
Yeah, damn.
It's so long. And Shinto were doing a one-off
Shinto Banana.
reunion show, and then we had Machine Head.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a show.
See, I told you Machine Head's going to be a reoccurring theme here.
And speaking of Machine Head, so Sacred Reich,
Yeah.
with Dave McLean, and Violence with Phil Demmel were supposed to come out, and they got pushed back when COVID was kind of starting out, and then it just blew up from there. What shows were cancelled for you?
Stop it. You know where I was meant to go? UK Download for the very first time. It was booked and everything. A friend of mine were going to go to Amsterdam for a few days and then go to Newcastle, which is where, you know, one of my best friends is from, and then who is with another best friend, Michelle and Nathan. Hi guys, who have been on this channel a hell of a lot. We were going to go there and then meet up with them, finally meet his mum, which would have been rad, and then catch like the coach down to the festival and spend 5 days at Download.
I heard it gets really muddy.
Yeah,
You have gumboots packed.
we had everything. We had the tent book, the air mattress with built-in pillow, fuck man, we had everything. It was so annoying. Yeah.
Speaking of COVID,
Yeah.
what was your last show?
Not
before
metal.
COVID?
My last one was Yellow Wolf. I fucking love me some Yellow, and that was my last one.
I had
in January
two.
last year.
I
Yeah.
had Invasion Fest, and then I went and saw the Amity Affliction in Wollongong
Yeah.
because they were supported by Antagonist AD, who
Oh.
are my all-time favourite band with Machine Head. They're a hardcore band from New Zealand, and I just love them. I've loved them since I was about 15.
Unreal, man.
That's nearly 15 years.
That is a love affair. Ooh, almost 15 years.
Yes.
Oh, that hurts. In Australia, also, a lot of festivals and shows were cancelled as well. Like Iron Maiden were meant to come out, Faith No More, Unify Festival.
I think there was another Download Festival, and before it really kicked off, and then My Chemical Romance was supposed to headline.
True, yeah.
And as soon as they pulled out, all the bands started pulling out.
And also one of the earlier bands was Lacuna Coil, and as we all know, Italy was one of the hardest hit places with COVID, and that it fell apart. It fell apart before it was even anything, it felt like.
Yeah.
But we are super lucky to be here in Australia because you know, as much as we hated it, we got locked down. You weren't allowed to leave your house for a little while. You weren't allowed to have people over, which was really hard for social people like us. You know, you and I didn't see each other for ages. But we've almost fucking killed COVID in Australia.
We've had 0 new cases as of today locally acquired, and then 4, I think it was today.
Okay, but hopefully we kick it and we can get shows back here ASAP. So there's been a lot of really cool shows that we've spoken about, and some that we haven't even had a chance to touch on, but I want to ask you got a top 3?
My top 3. I'm gonna go with Slayer in 2009 for number 1. It was the first ever time I seen them in our country.
Always a special time for a metalhead.
And when the eagle logo lit up with the fire, I just felt like a kid in a candy store. Next one would be the whole Evening with Machine Head tour in 2015.
Nice.
Which we went to 4 out of 7 shows in Australia.
Yeah. Oh, actually no, because they just did Adelaide and Perth, and then they did, there were 9 shows in total, and then they went to New Zealand. And I remember because Metropolis sold out every single one.
I know, I had trouble getting a ticket.
She got in though!
I got in. And then my latest favourite was Invasion Fest.
Cool.
Which was last year in January. We had Knocked Loose, Terror, Malevolence, which is a band that one of my best friends, Mikey, has been nagging me for years to listen to. Never did it, saw them for the first time, and now I am in absolute love with them.
Awesome.
So shout out Mikey for that suggestion.
Weren't Red Shore on that one? They did a special reunion, right?
Red Shore, we had Justice for the Damned, Honest Crooks, Jesus Piece were pretty cool. Just so many good bands. What about you? What's your top 3 of all time?
That's a hard choice. I mean, because we've already mentioned Mudvayne, I'm going to leave them out of this list. But I'm going to have to say Fear Factory performing to Manufacture in its entirety. 2013 at the Roundhouse, I believe. And then I reckon Clutch 2014 at the Metro on the Earth Rocket tour. They're so good. They're like the best rock band that you've never heard of, you know. But taking out number 1 spot, I've got to say Hell Yeah, Corner Hotel in Melbourne on their Blood for Blood tour in 2015. I was working for the promoter at the time. It was the last show I was doing on the tour, you know, held hands with Chad during Alcohol and Arse, and it was the most special show.
And you ran their meet and greets and everything for that show.
Sure did.
I actually had a few people that were big Machine Head fans.
Yeah.
Hang on, I know your friend Mudvayne Megan from running the meet and greets for those shows. So, small world.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a big name in the middle. Everyone knows you here. So if you don't know Mudvayne Megan, do you really know anyone?
You're adorable, and I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us for the very first pre-Friday Thursday. We've had a great time hanging out with you all and hanging out with you too. This has been awesome.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know when our new video comes out next week.
Yeah.
And you don't miss a video.
Exactly. And just don't wait till Friday. Have an awesome pre-Friday Thursday. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.